do it.
Resident Evil has a great number of complex characters, but one that stayed with fans more than others is Albert Wesker. With his borderline sociopathic intelligence, god complex, and ambition, he has managed to carve himself as an exceptional threat, one who cannot simply be taken care of traditionally. Wesker not only possessed the wits for possible world domination, which he came dangerously close to, but his unique biology also made him thrive under the effects of genetic mutation. He is undoubtedly one of the most iconic villains in video games. In this video, let's go through some of the more complicated aspects of his physiology that can explain how he became such a formidable foe in the Resident Evil universe. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Too bad you won't make it much further.
1. Viral origin, progenitor and prototype virus. The progenitor virus was the ultimate source from which all of Umbrella's bioweapons were created. Think of it as a base for a recipe, without which no product could be created. Albert Wesker's abilities come from an experimental prototype variant of this parent virus.
The right to be a god.
2. Genetic compatibility and Project W. He was one of the few survivors of Project W, a eugenics program that enhanced his natural physical and intellectual potential beyond that of any ordinary human. As a virologist himself, he knew that only certain people with specific genetic predispositions could assimilate the strain of the virus without suffering side effects and maximize the resultant potential. It just so happened that he himself possessed this kind of already superior genetic makeup, which allowed him to gain astonishing abilities after injecting himself with the strain. His natural DNA was more sensitive and had heightened integrity to resist foreign bodies. The enzymes in his body were capable of quickly incorporating and multiplying cells, especially in areas that were vulnerable. As a result, the virus did not affect his mental health beyond enhancing his intellect, but rather turned his body into an incubation chamber for it to unlock its true potential slowly. In order to monitor how the progenitor virus would affect him without any suspicion, he faked his death in the Arkley Mansion incident.
Are you saying I was manufactured?
I was to become.
3. Superhuman strength. Over the next few years, Wesker kept monitoring himself and noticed significant changes in his physiology that allowed him to basically become superhuman. He could lift up to 5 tons of weight. At his peak, his strength rivaled that of the super tyrants, and he was able to kill a BOW with a single strike. Chris Redfield had a hell of a time dealing with Wesker, and the former was already an extremely strong individual.
Capable of being a god. Deserves that right.
4. Superhuman speed and reflexes. Due to his enhanced genetic predisposition, his speed and reflexes were already over those of normal humans. The virus only enhanced them to spectacular levels. He was so fast that he could outrun an explosion that engulfed all of Spencer Mansion simply by running casually. At his full strength, his speed and reflexes are so particular that he can easily avoid bullets that are shot from point-blank range. He could throw punches faster than the human eye could comprehend, which sometimes gave the illusion that he was able to teleport. In fact, even when he was weakened, he was able to catch an RPG warhead thrown at him while he was off guard.
Wesker.
5. Regenerative healing factor. Albert Wesker's regenerative healing abilities from the virus were no joke. He could heal and regenerate his torso in a matter of minutes, even if it was impaled to the point that would be considered fatal for even bioweapons. He was able to heal his face as good as new after being hideously burned, just in a few minutes. When he was killed by the tyrant in the mansion, the virus healed him in a very short time. Firing bullets right at his face could not kill him either. That being said, his healing abilities did make him weak after a point, and this could be exploited by his opponents. Basically, he could regenerate himself easily as long as the majority of his body was relatively unharmed. Only if his body were destroyed completely would it kill him.
You'll pay for that. Hang on!
6. Physical endurance and durability. If you think his strength, speed, and stamina were already off the charts, wait till you hear about his physical endurance. A rocket exploding in his hand could incapacitate him only for a few seconds, after which he managed to get back to reality. Thousands of pounds of steel falling on him from a great height only dazed him for a few moments. Due to his superhuman stamina, he could keep battling for an unnaturally long period of time before even appearing to feel somewhat tired. The prototype virus enhanced his durability to even a greater extent than that of the super tyrants. He could take on direct hits from BOWs as mentioned, and this was just in his rookie years. At the peak of his abilities, almost nothing could move him, from small firearms to an RPG shot directly at him.
No!
7. Distinctive eyes, split pupils. After his death at the hands of the tyrant, Wesker was able to resurrect himself and become even stronger than before. While most of his appearance remained the same, one thing changed significantly. His pupils narrowed to the point where they looked like slits, looking more animalistic than human. His eye color also changed to yellow or red, depending on the situation. Not just this, he also developed bioillumination in his eyes, which made them glow a deep red anytime he felt intense emotions, such as anger.
You two ever tire of failing in your mission?
8. Accelerated thought and intelligence. Albert was already an amazingly talented individual in terms of his intellect. He received his doctorate at the age of 17, which is huge on its own. The virus only enhanced his already superior intellect and cognitive abilities, which made him a force to be reckoned with. This is what actually makes him such a layered and dangerous villain in the games, because unlike most of the bioweapons, he was not mindlessly being used as a means for destruction. He knew exactly what he wanted and how to go about it. His physical capabilities alone would not have brought him as far as he had come if he were not equipped with his genius brain. He was able to aggressively study and advance the progress in the field of virology to enhance human evolution, largely due to his mental faculties. Many fans believe that with his higher intellect, he was someone who eventually lost touch with his emotions and became extremely sociopathic. 9. Resistance to aging. He appeared to have stopped his natural aging process after his resurrection. This could have been an extension of his regenerative healing power or an entirely different ability as a whole. While he mentally became more advanced with age, his body seemed to have stopped aging. 10. Control over Uroboros virus. Almost 10 years after his resurrection, Wesker had managed to evolve his powers to dangerous heights using additional viral research on himself. He wanted more rapid evolution and used the deadly Uroboros virus on himself. This virus was derived from the flower praga-parasites, which were extremely lethal. He was able to withstand the effects of the strain due to his physiology, and as a result, this integration gave him even more advanced powers. He could actually use teleportation and cloaking skills in addition to experiencing limb generation, which would cause him to develop tentacles. It was this virus that allowed him to move faster than bullets and throw objects with the same force as a missile. His tentacle strikes were extremely deadly and could kill anyone with a single strike. This happens during the finale of Resident Evil 5, when he completely sheds his human appearance. 11. Physical stats. Height, weight, blood type. Due to his superior genes, Albert was quite well endowed physically. His height was initially 183 centimeters, well over 6 feet. Later, that increased to 190 centimeters. His weight was 186 pounds initially, which increased to 198 pounds later. His blood group was O, but it's obvious that his blood was not the same as that of ordinary human beings.
Do it.
12. Limits and weaknesses. Despite his enormously impressive abilities, Wesker was not infallible. He had to regularly inject himself with the PG67AW serum to keep the progenitor virus under control. Not doing this would stunt his superhuman abilities and ultimately could even kill him. He may have had DNA compatible with the virus, but he was a human, and no virus of that kind could be safe for him. Moreover, the serum would need to be administered extremely carefully with precise dosage every single time to not mess up his body's chemistry. As mentioned before, Wesker suffered from a god complex. His unfettered arrogance did work well for him for a while, but ultimately it was what caused his eventual downfall. He was obsessed with continuing to enhance his abilities and further his goals, but this mindless ambition blinded him to his shortcomings. Marvelous verdict. Despite him not making an appearance after Resident Evil 5, fans still believe that a slippery bastard like him certainly had a contingency plan for his death, no matter how final his ending might have been. Producer Masachiko Kawata has stressed that there is no possibility of the character returning. But hey, fans can always dream, right? Despite drowning in lava, it is possible for him to make a comeback. And in case he does, what additional enhancements would we see in his physiology? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.